I want to thank everyone for joining me today in this conversational English webinar. I am Dr. Priscilla. I am the founder of Speak Excellent English, and for the next, a total of 7 days, we have live class for those family members in Speak Excellent English. So today I want to say to Tara and Catherine, welcome home. So Catherine.
Thank you, Dr. Priscilla.
Catherine, please tell us why you're here and what you hope to get out of today's session.
Well, I went here because I want to improve my English. So that's my real goals. I need professional English for my work. For me, in general for my life. So that's my real goal right now. So improve my English, to get a professional English, and also if that's possible, the writing English also.
Okay. So what do you do as a career or a profession, Catherine?
Say again, Priscilla, say again.
What do you do for a career or as a profession?
I'm an interior designer, so that's my real job. So my career, I'm interior designer and project management.
I see. Okay. So I think your goals are in line with Tara. Tara is one of my students, and I'll let her explain briefly what she does and why she's here today. Tara?
Okay, so yes, I'm here, Dr. Priscilla. So I'm a community pharmacist, and for my work, in order to improve and succeed and get promotions, I need to have a decent level of English. So I need to ascertain that I improve and work on my English every single day. It's so important for me not to put my work on the fence. And I think the approaches that Dr. Priscilla uses is unprecedented, actually, because the whole work with Dr. Priscilla is phenomenon because she's so unique and different. Maybe my results at the beginning were modest. They weren't that much of a big deal, but as time went by, I started to notice that I have lots of vocabulary words and that I can recall them at the drop of a hat so easily without even being conscious of using them. So I'm very convinced that taking similar approaches for you would be very beneficial. And as long as you're taking lessons with Dr. Priscilla, you're in good hands. You don't need to worry about it.
Tara is one of my greatest advocates. Thank you very much, Tara. So what Tara has said is that what I try to do based upon what your goals are, and your goal, Catherine, is in alignment with Tara's. Many of my students will come to me for help with the English Proficiency Exam, such as TOEFL, IELTS, or the CAE. And they have a very specific route that they need to focus on ultimately. However, when you are working on just improving your conversational speaking skills because you are already employed, but you're seeking to become a higher paid or receive a higher position, your vocabulary, your pronunciation, your intonation, your presence will all need to associate itself to someone who is fluent in the target language. And in this case, the target language is English. So I want to point out that Tara is still using what I've taught her. You will hear her, if you heard me say ascertain, that was one of her words that we have used, and she has consistently used it correctly in her conversations. She used the idioms drop of a hat and I forget another one.
Unprecedented, phenomenal.
Unprecedented and phenomenal. Those are words that doesn't necessarily come quickly to your mind until you start to practice. You typically might say unprecedented. You might say, I've never experienced this, or I never saw this, or I never heard this before. But it's unprecedented. The word unprecedented removes 5 other words. And you start to say things like that. So that is really, really good. All right, so now since we have you here, Catherine, I will facilitate just for a few minutes as I listen to the two of you talk with each other while you're building your conversational muscle. What this will do for you, because Tara is not only speaking with people from the United States, she's probably speaking with people from wherever you are, Catherine, which I'm not sure where that is just yet. So she still needs to be able to listen and respond to people from other cultures and countries. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, I agree, Dr. Priscilla, because sometimes it's hard for me to understand people with accent. I'm not used to listening to them. Yes, I agree.
Okay, so just ask some basic questions and it could go in either direction. Tara, you're very familiar with that because we've done it. You just take what is said and turn it into a situation like, tell me more. Wow,
Okay.
I've never thought about that before. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, for me it's the first time today, so you can ask to me and I can answer. So
Okay. All right. So Tara, if you'll take
I'm
the
really
lead.
new, so
Okay. Okay, no problem. I'll take the lead. Okay. So can you say just one more time what's your work? Like you're majoring in what? You're working at what?
yeah. So I mean, I'm living in New York right now. So
Oh, welcome home.
oh yes, thank you. Remember Priscilla that we was talking before when I was living in Spain? I don't know that you remember. That's like I don't know, 7 years ago maybe, or I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Well,
So
it's
now I live in New York. I'm working in Porcelanosa in the Fifth Avenue. So my profession is interior designer and project management.
Interior designer.
Yeah, interior designer and project management. That's my current position and my career. So that's my profession.
That's very interesting. I've always been fascinated with interior designs and all of these
Thank
things.
you. Yes.
Good luck for you in your career. And where are you from?
I was born in New Jersey, but I grew up in Spain. So that's that's the reason to my accent. I speak better Spanish than English. So this is
Spanish.
this is the reason, you know. So
you're from Spain. Cool. Cool.
I'm from Spain. Yes. Where are you from?
I'm from Iraq.
From what?
Iraq.
Oh, Iraq. Okay. All right. All right.
The northern part, not the capital.
Oh, okay.
Baghdad.
All right.
Yes. And how do you like your job?
I like everything in general, but I like to talk with the customer. I mean, improve my customer service. So in general, more the thing I think the more important in my job is the creativity that you have to use. You know, that's really important for me because I am a person very creative. So I think this is the part that I love to do in my jobs, you know?
Oh, I agree. So you need to delve more deep into your creative side, and you need English for that to express yourself.
Of course, yes, because I cannot speak English right now, but I think that I need professional English because I have different customers, and in New York, the customers are really difficult, you know? So you have to understand, and you have to speak, I don't know, how do you say, polite or professional? I think that's professional. I don't know, maybe Priscilla can tell me the correct word.
So Tara, when we talked yesterday, when we're not necessarily clear on what the customer in Catherine's case may be, and we need more information, and we don't want to keep saying, can you repeat that? We would say something like,
tell me more.
Tell me more. Or,
tell me more.
That's interesting. I've never thought about that like that. And when you say things like that, Catherine, honestly, the person that you're speaking with will be so grateful that you're paying attention to them. That person isn't really aware that you didn't understand fully what they said. But my impression is, wow, you are a great interior designer. You're listening to everything I say, and you want to get all of the details, which is true. You do want to get the details, but more importantly, you want the customer to repeat. So as you're listening to her, you're going to respond. So let's listen at Tara and I talk about what she does as a pharmacist.
Okay.
So I have a prescription that I need to have filled, but I don't think it's something that I really need.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Okay. Well, my back hurts, and that's what I told my doctor. I said that I hurt my back picking up heavy clothes and baskets and things. and he gave me something for sprained muscles. But in addition to having the sprained muscle, it just hurts.
Well, that's interesting that you're not convinced in what your doctor prescribed to you, but I think it's quite common. Why don't you just tell me more about what you're feeling right now, what you're experiencing?
Okay.
I want to put myself in your shoes so that I can help you the best.
Well, it only hurts when I twist to the right, and if I bend down to pick something up. But I'm already on so many other medications that I just don't want to take something that I don't need. Do you think it would be okay if I just took half of the prescription and not the entire thing?
Well, by looking on your prescription, I think it's okay to take half the dosage, but if you didn't see that your symptoms are alleviating, you need to take the full dosage. Let me look at your other medications so that I will make sure and ascertain that there aren't any drug interactions. Just let me look at them, please.
Okay, good. Okay, so Catherine, here's what we did. Now, I'm going to take the same scenario, and you'll have to improvise for an interior designer.
I'm going to try.
So it's obviously, I have no clue as to what I want, but I'm coming to you because you are the expert.
Exactly.
So if I say something that isn't clear, you need to ask me, tell me a little more about, like, what room are you going to put this in? What else is in this room? Oh, I'm so glad that I met you today. My best friend told me that you were an excellent interior designer, and I need something for my house.
Okay, let me help you. So tell me a little bit more about yourself, about your need.
Well, we just moved, my husband and I just moved into this house on Fifth Avenue in New York, and you know how everyone is on Fifth Avenue. Everything is so posh, and I want to fit in. My favorite colors are blue, yellow, and purple.
Okay, so let me check. I would like to get more information regarding your house. For example, what color is your floor? What color is your wall right now? Because I want to compare the other color with everything in general.
Well, I don't want anything on the floor. I don't need anything on the floor. And I like the walls as they are. So we don't have to do anything with the walls and the floor.
Okay. So can you give me more information, please?
Okay, so what you might want to do now is, because I think I know why you want to know about the floor, but as a customer, I'm not really sure why you're asking, because I don't want a rug. You will say, tell me why you ask about the floor. So first compliment me and say, wow, I'm so happy that you live on Fifth Avenue. I know exactly the lifestyle or whatever, wherever it is. Even if you don't know that area, you could say, I think I know that area. It's pretty good, isn't it? And I'll say, yeah. You know, give me some compliments, make me feel like you really care, okay? And then tell me the reason you ask about the floor is because if I have carpet and I wanted drapes, carpet might take a different type of fabric as opposed to hardwood floors. I don't really know that, but I'm just saying. You want to engage me in a conversation.
Okay, I got it.
Like, get to know me, because I already said, you know that I'm already a customer because my best friend told me that you were the best. So now just make me feel like I'm special.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so I'm so glad to meet you. My best friend told me that you are the best interior designer. Can you help me?
Yes. Oh, are you talking with Tara or me? I'm sorry.
I'm talking to you, Catherine.
Okay. Oh, yes, of course. So I can help you. So can you tell me what you need exactly so I can help you with everything?
Okay. So I live on Fifth Avenue. You know how everybody is over there. It's so rich on Fifth Avenue and everything is so posh. And I want to stay in, you know, like my neighbors. My best
something glamorous. You want something glamorous, something different, right?
Yes.
So you want something, exciting for you, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. My favorite colors are pink, purple, and blue.
That's perfect. I love that color. So we can do something with that color. So
Okay.
all right.
So what do you suggest?
I mean, I can suggest combined. You say that your favorite color is a pink, right? Pink
Yes.
color, and then
Pink,
the
purple,
other
and blue.
color, purple and blue.
Purple and
So
blue.
maybe we can do a combination with the pink color, and also we can combine, we can match the white color with another material. What do you think? What do you think?
You would add white to it as well?
Yes, I mean we can combine the color that you like, but I use it the three color. Also, we can combine another clear color, you know, to get more lighting.
Ah, okay. So the color white does what? What does the color of white do?
Say again, please.
So what does the color of white does? I think white accents things. I don't know.
I mean,
you
color
want to?
white.
I was just saying, maybe you can explain to me why you are adding white when I said that pink, purple, and blue is my favorite color. I get the idea, but let me just say this, Catherine.
Okay.
As you process what I'm saying, the whole thing is, one, you know that even if I come into your store, you should consider that I am your customer.
All
if
right.
I wasn't interested, I wouldn't come in.
So
if I came in, I am your customer. But I told you that my best friend recommended you.
Yeah.
So my best friend knows that you're good. Now what you want to do is to make sure that you keep me as a customer. Show a real interest in me. You can even say, you know, I said my favorite colors are pink, blue, and purple. If I have on something that's purple, I can see that your favorite color is purple. Don't mention it, but it's just like, how does she know that? I just told you.
All right.
But it's just like you're really getting to know me, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So that is how New Yorkers are. I've never really lived in New York, but I've been to New York. They're quick. They just want to get to the point. But you're not like a Walmart or Nordstrom's. You are like a boutique, I think.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
You're just like my wedding planner person. You want to get to know me. And then when you show an interest in me, like, oh, I like your glasses, or I like your shirt, or
I got it.
Something that you can compliment me on, so that I feel like, wow, she's a nice person.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
And I will promise you, Catherine, that your English is good enough for me. It may not be good enough for someone whose first language is not English, but for people in New York, I think your English is perfect. There are some instances where you say it should be customers, and sometimes it's customer. I just pick that up, that you're not getting it spot on. But it doesn't take away from building a relationship with me. So just show me that you recognize me as a person. And even if I don't buy, say like you were in this session today, I really want you to get a lot from this lesson, because you're going to tell someone else, oh, come to Priscilla's webinars. Or if I didn't buy your service, I'm going to say to my friends, you know, she was really nice, but either she was too expensive, or I didn't really like the fabric that she had, or it was going to take longer than I had time. But you still have a recommendation that might come from me. So always treat me as a valuable customer. Okay?
Okay.
That will help. And for you, Tara, as a pharmacist, and you want to move up in management or whatever it is that they do, you always want to have your customers leave with a good feeling. Because when we do in this country, in the US, we do a survey card. Ugh, that pharmacist was horrible. She was just rushing me. I didn't know what she said. I won't even come back. I'll tell you this. So I go to this pharmacist. Everything is competitive here, probably everywhere else too. The pharmacists in this country my country,
Mhm.
the prices are not necessarily the same. If I go to Walmart, the prices for my drugs are different. They cost
Uh-huh.
less.
Uh-huh.
If I go to CVS, they cost a little bit more. And if I go to Revco, if I go to Walgreens and Walmart, they cost about the same. But I go to CVS because the pharmacist knows my name. How are
Oh.
you, Priscilla? It's good to see you. If I go to Walgreens, there's always a line of people,
Mm.
and they just want to move you out. But it is cheaper.
Mhm.
But I like to be recognized.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Catherine, you want to make sure that you get the person's name and thank me for coming in today. And if it's raining or if it's cold, try to stay warm, Priscilla. Oh, what a beautiful day, Priscilla. Priscilla, I'm glad you came in today. And Catherine, even if you didn't just get some fabric in, just last week, this fabric came in. And the reason you're going to say last week, because I may have come in yesterday and you have forgotten. So you want to show me some fabric that came in last week.
Okay.
It didn't have to come in last week.
I know, but you have to say to the customer because I understand. I got it. I got you, yes.
Okay, so if you're not doing those things, those are some things that I would recommend that you implement to stay on the lips and on the mind of people that are doing things for their home. Okay, so, and you know, and if I live on Fifth Avenue, at least I'm thinking Fifth Avenue is a posh place, or wherever the posh places are in New York.
Yeah, that's true.
Just kind of like be aware of whatever. And if you look at what people wear, if they have a designer bag, they probably are not looking for the least expensive fabric. You know, don't assume, and that is one thing that I don't like. I am a woman of color, and sometimes people think that because I'm a woman of color, I want the least expensive. I don't necessarily want the most expensive, but don't think I can't afford it. Don't make that assumption, because if you make that assumption, you probably are making some other assumptions, and you're going to lose the sale.
Oh, that's
so.
true.
For example, you are familiar with Oprah Winfrey?
With what?
Who doesn't?
Are you familiar with Oprah Winfrey?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. So she went to some store, some posh store in another country, and they didn't recognize her.
Oh.
And so they lost a huge sale because she was buying a bag. She was going to buy a bag for her goddaughter.
Yeah.
And the guy said that he couldn't take the bag out of the showcase to let her hold it.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So you're making an assumption about someone or something that isn't necessarily true. And even if it had not been Oprah, and even like the bag was like $15,000. I mean, that's like, really, a bag? But if I go in and I want to look at it, they should let me look at it. If anyone can look at it, they should let everyone look at it. But I would not be going into a store personally that had a $15,000 bag, because it just isn't. I don't want to waste my time. I would just look at it through the window.
Okay.
Say, oh. So I'm just saying, don't underestimate who comes into your store. You may not do that, but if you do, even if they're raggedy and they're smelly, just be nice to them. Put it out there in the universe that I am a nice person and you are a nice human being. And just find out, you don't have to indulge them that much in conversation once you realize that they're just wasting your time. If you think that. But treat them nicely and with respect. All right. So, all right, any other questions? And then I'll go to a different activity for the benefit of the two of you.
I have no questions.
Okay, Catherine, do you have a question?
Not right now. I'm really clear when you explanation, so that's really very good tips from me. So that's really good.
Okay, great. Well, I'm really happy that the two of you are here. So I'm going to find an article, a short article, and we'll read this article. I'm going to find one first, and then I'll share my screen. Well, maybe I'll just go to my Facebook page and talk about that. Why don't I do that? This is going to be an activity in just developing your muscle for speaking quickly. Let's see, we have, all right, I don't know whose post this is. This is from the internet. It's someone else's page. And I'm going to share my screen. So here you see pictures. Do you see my screen of 4 pictures plus 12?
Oh yeah, I see it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. So here we have images that we can talk about. Choose 1, 2, 3, or 4. Tara, choose one of these images, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and tell me what you see. What do you think is happening? Then we're going to ask you questions and you can come up with answers.
Okay, I'm gonna choose the one with the, I think he's a fireman or something, that holding kittens or cats in a cage.
Okay, so it looks like you're talking about this one.
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
this one.
so tell us about this.
There might be like some disaster has already happened in that place, and the fireman or the person, that man he's trying to rescue these kittens or cats. He put them already in a cage.
Okay.
And I think he moves so quickly, maybe because they're injured or they're hurt.
Okay, so Catherine, do you think that we have a responsibility as humans to save pets and animals, or maybe these are even wild animals, as a matter of fact?
Of course, yes. So, I mean, we are human, but we have to respect the animals. I mean, in this case, like at this disaster, if we can rescue the animal, of course, yes, I think so, yes. So,
okay. Good. So now, Catherine, I'm going to challenge you to give me a word, maybe like impossible, three-syllable word, doesn't matter what the word is. And I want you to use this word several times when you speak. So you could use the word impossible, magnificent, whatever you wish. Do you understand?
oh,
So
I don't really understand really you, Priscilla. So can you tell me again, please? I don't really understand.
I'm going to ask Tara to give an example. So Tara, I'm going to give you this word. It's one that you haven't had. It is going to be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay. So as you speak, I want you to use the word phenomenal. So you were telling us, Tara, that this fireman is carrying some animals that he has braved the weather, the fire to rescue.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little more about this experience, perhaps?
Well, I think his duty and the responsibility that he's taken is phenomenal. Maybe there was a phenomena that happened, maybe a disaster or something like that, but the burden that he's taking on himself is phenomenal in itself. And in addition to that, he's only a human being, so he can't do something that's quite phenomenal or unprecedented. He can do whatever he can within his hands.
Very good. All right, so Catherine, what she did was use the word phenomenal several times. So I'm going to ask you now to use this word. As you talk about this picture, we're going to have the word adequate, adequately. And the word adequately means that it is enough.
It is enough.
It is enough. It means that it is sufficient. You don't need to do anything more. So adequately is what I'd like for you to use as you talk about. Do you want to talk about this picture, or do you wish to talk about another?
I don't really know the word, to be honest with you. Maybe, I don't know.
The word adequately?
Yes, I'm not very familiar with that.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Before you opened up your boutique as an interior designer, you had to make sure that you had adequate space to put your material.
Uh-huh.
So while you were doing the planning and getting things necessary, you made sure that everything was in its adequate place. You had your threads in this place. You had an adequate amount of employees. You had an adequate amount of monies in the bank so that if someone did not have good credit and bought things on credit, you didn't go bankrupt. So if I were to look at this picture number 3, I could say that this is the one that I'm looking at. The man here is running, and he seemed to have on the adequate clothing to protect him from the fire. However, I don't know if he has adequate protection against this vehicle that might hit him if he continues to run across the street.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So your word is adequate.
Adequate, okay.
Just do the best that you can. The benefit is in the practice.
All right. I'm going to try, okay, because I'm not familiar with the word, but with the same word, right?
Yes, adequate.
Adequate, okay. So I'm going to say that almost the same that you. So the man is running, see the, I don't know.
Yeah, the man is running.
The man is running. I think that he had to adequate that the car is coming to him.
Well, he may have to ascertain that a car is coming toward him, but he needs to adequately protect himself by looking in the direction. So give me a word that you do know how to use. Just give me any word. Any word. Any word that comes to your mind that you know.
Prevention, for example.
Okay, good.
Prevention.
Okay, now use the word prevention as you talk about. Which one are you going to talk about? The same picture?
Maybe the first one. The first one, I don't know.
Okay,
maybe the first one.
the first one. Okay, great. Prevention, and we're talking about this one. Okay.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, so maybe, I mean, I saw in the picture a really big fire in the forest. So I think that people had to be prevention about this because that's really important. Also, when people go to the forest, they need to get prevention to don't, yeah.
Okay, so that's
a little block, you know, a little
that's fine. You're doing great. That's fine. So what you'll need to do is the word prevention. Your tenses is not quite right. Your tense is not quite right, but the wording is good. So in the picture number 1, we see that the forest fire person is doing some preventive measures. It looks like he has a bucket or something, and he's probably telling people that they need to be careful while they are taking preventive measures to protect the people's property. There is no prevention strategies in place at the moment, or there were not any prevention strategies in place that adequately preserve this area, because if it had, this phenomena would not have occurred and all of this massive fire would not have taken place. All right, so there you're going to listen to Tara do it, but Tara has been working with me, and that's why it's going to be, I believe, presumably phenomenally. She's going to do a phenomenal explanation of this fire. Okay, Tara, use all 3 words.
Okay, so phenomenal, adequately, and prevention.
Yes. And you can use some derivative of the word. It doesn't have to be exactly phenomenal. It can be phenomena, it could be adequate, and it can be prevent.
Okay. So a few days ago, there was a fire took place. A few days ago, a fire took place in one of the woods that are nearby a neighborhood. Lots of firemen ran quickly to rescue people, kittens, animals. They made the adequate measures to prevent human casualties. But of course, there were some problems at the beginning. But at the end, they tried to pull off the whole thing, the whole situation. They wanted to ascertain that everyone was in good hands, and they wanted to minimize the casualties, whatever they were, for animals or for humans or for buildings, regarding their exhaustion. Even though they were exhausted, however, they couldn't rescue anything. They couldn't rescue everything, but they did their best at the end of the day.
Okay, so what I was listening for is for you to also use phenomenal and prevention. Did you use those?
I guess I didn't use phenomenal. I guess, yeah, I used adequately preventing. They used
Okay.
they used the adequate measures to prevent and minimize casualties, but I
Okay.
didn't use phenomenal. So they did a phenomenal job at the end of the day.
Okay, awesome,
All in all.
awesome, awesome, awesome. So what happens with this, Catherine, it is just practice, and we take words from articles that we've read before, bring in the new vocabulary, take vocabulary from another story, so that it's seamless when you're starting to speak, that you will find that the vocabulary words will just flow. So I'm going to type over here, Tara. I can't think of but a few of the words. I know that phenomena is one. I know that sisterhood
Sisterhood, yes.
is one.
Ascertain.
What is it?
Ascertain.
Ascertain.
Yes. Moral dilemma.
More, yes. More, D-I. More, I-L-E-M. Well,
Implicit. Implicit also.
implicit.
What else? Whiplash. Get
Yeah.
whiplashed.
Yeah. So those are words that we had used. Now, let's look at your challenge now. It's going to be, okay, here are your words again. Phenomena, sisterhood, ascertain, moral dilemma, implicit, and whiplash. See what you can do with those words.
A story, or I have to.
Yeah.
I should.
Okay, let's find your, we can find another picture. Tell me which picture you want me to stop on. Can't really see your words there.
I can't see the word.
Okay, when you find the picture, I'll retype the words.
Okay, I think this one's cute.
This
no, the
one?
other one. No, the other one.
This one?
Yes, this one.
Okay, so I'll type out your words again so you can see them.
No, it's okay. I can see them. No problem.
Okay.
That's okay. I
All
can
right.
see them.
Okay, go. All right.
Okay, so this fireman has done a phenomenal job of saving this cat. His implicit behavior is worthy, even though he got whiplashed when he was in the car driving all the way down to this place. But he kind of formed, however, he kind of formed a brotherhood with his friends. He wanted to ascertain that all the animals and people would be prevented from any harm, even though sometimes he would get entrapped in a moral dilemma of what to choose, saving an animal or saving a person's life when it comes to choosing one.
Awesome, awesome, very good. Now, Catherine, just for the purpose of speaking, practice speaking, tell me what you see and how you understand and receive this picture. Okay.
Okay, I see in the pictures a fireman saving a cat in the forest. So I think he's really happy because he already got to save the cat. So I mean, I think that he's in the forest.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
see.
right. He's in the forest, and it looks like he's happy that he saved a cat, and the cat looks very content
Yeah.
sitting there.
Yeah, I think this is very comfortable with him.
It's a very comfortable position for him to be in at the moment.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? What do you think a fireman's responsibility is to others when he has the same? He has a family that's concerned, and families are trying to escape this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What makes a fireman different from someone who's trying to leave and him trying to preserve? What is the difference?
I mean, the difference, I think that he cared for the animals, so that's the difference. I think so. So some people care about the animal and another people don't care. So, but I think in this case, he cared about the animals, so about the cat in this case.
That's right. He cares about animals, and he probably cares about the forest. So
exactly, about the forest also, yeah.
So I would say it would be something like you, Catherine. When I come into your store, and there's a place like Goodwill where you can buy curtains and things for $1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll come into your store and I'll say, "Oh, this is very nice, but it's a little expensive. I can get something very similar to this at Goodwill." What might you say to me?
I usually say to the customer or to you that maybe it's expensive, but it's not the same. So with me, you can get another different things better, whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
So more
Okay.
or less,
So
something like this, similar.
But you don't want to make me feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
I've already said that I could get something cheaper, but what I do like is that you were asking me, am I getting quality? Because everything that you have in your store is quality,
exactly.
and you probably stand behind what you sell 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So customer satisfaction is key to what you're doing there. And as far as this gentleman in the forest, the reason he puts his family behind is because he has the training. He has the knowledge. He has the know-how. He knows how to protect himself.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas someone like myself, I would be in the way. I need to remove myself from this dangerous situation and let the experts take care of it. All right?
All right.
Tara?
Dr. Priscilla?
Here's your situation.
Okay.
I believe you gave me the wrong medicine. I've never felt this way before, and it looks like it's spelled differently than the medicine that I had last month.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on with this new medicine that you gave me? Is this what I should be taking?
Just let me check your prescription.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I don't think I gave you the wrong medication myself, but I think that my technician has maybe misread the name of your medications. However, I'm gonna make it up to you. I'm gonna give you something that will counter what you're feeling right now, and don't worry, that's gonna be all on the pharmacy. It's not you're not gonna give me anything like money or something else. It's going to be on me, maybe not just on the pharmacy. It's going to be on me because at the end of the day, I'm the pharmacist and I'm in charge here. So don't worry, everything would go back to normal, and I'm going to ascertain that you won't feel anything. You won't get hurt because we'll keep in touch, and
Okay.
I'm going to make sure that you're going to feel better.
So you're going to check on me? You're going to call and make sure that I'm okay?
Yes, of course, we're going to keep in touch on WhatsApp or whatever social media that you want, because I want to make sure that I want you to feel that you're in good hands. I want you to be convinced.
Okay. Well, that's great. All right. So my Catherine, Tara, thank you so much for joining me today. And now I'm going to ask if you have any specific questions that I can answer for you before we end our session today.
Oh yeah, Dr. Priscilla, I have a question actually.
Yes, what is your question?
Yes, it's so great to use lots of academic vocabulary words, and that's what I want, and that's my goal. But at the same time, I can't remember. One day I talked to a tutor, and I used the word innocuous because we used it in one of our sessions, and I was so happy about using the word. Maybe I used it in a wrong way, I can't remember, but he didn't know what the meaning of that word is. So I was astonished because I was like, really? You don't know what the meaning of the word innocuous? And he said,
Okay, so
no, still
I'm
hard.
going to
Yeah.
assume I'm going to
Uh-huh.
assume that innocuous means that it's not poisonous, it's not something that's
Yes.
going to hurt me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So
Uh,
I remember, sorry, Dr. Patel, but I actually I remembered how I used the word innocuous. He told me like, "How was your day?" He knew that I'm a pharmacist, so he was like, "How was your day?" And I told him that, all in all, good. My patients were innocuous, so he
mhm.
didn't get what the word innocuous. I don't know. I misused the word, but I meant that my patients were harmless. They weren't very tacky. They weren't very annoying. They were good. They were polite. They appreciated what I have done for them, what I did
Okay.
for them at the time. So I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. And probably I would say, I know the definition, I know the meaning of the word, but I don't think I would have used that word based upon what you just described. Because
Okay.
innocuous has the assumption that you're giving me something to relieve me of some discomfort. So to say that
Okay.
my patients, my clients were innocuous, I'm like, mm, did you
So
give
it
them
was more.
something? So I think it was probably misused. I want to. There are just so many words in the American dictionary, words that are not even words, are now finding their way into the dictionary. That it would require a lot of reading, but the context clues around what your response was would still let the person know pretty much what you meant, that you were in a harmless situation. You were not in a hostile situation.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
innocuous is one of those delicious words.
It is very. I loved it, and I think at the time we talked about innocuous conversations,
Uh-huh.
like right now our encounter and our conversation was so easy and so innocuous.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can have an innocuous conversation, and when you're talking about people's religion, their sexual preferences, sometimes those can be a little hostile. But if
Hostile. I
everyone is
agree.
in agreement that it's an innocuous conversation, I'm not saying something to hurt your feelings. I'm just using this situation to further explain whatever it is that I want you to know. Okay, what about you, Catherine? Any questions?
Uh, and what's really, really interesting for me the first day, I mean, I learned a lot of new vocabulary, but to be honest with you, that's word, it's really new for me. Not all that word, but almost all. So, but I mean, was really, really good. Okay, so very good experience. So,
All right. Well, I hope that you will continue to join us for the next 4 days that we will have. And
yes, I'm gonna try. Yeah, because it will be better. I mean, it will be good for me. Yeah.
okay, great. All right. So
Yeah, me
let your
too.
friends know that I am online. Invite them to join us, and we'll talk again. Thanks again for joining us. I am
Thank
Dr.
you.
Priscilla, the founder of Speak Excellent English. Bye for
Thank you
now.
very much. Thank you for
Bye,
your time.
Priscilla.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Katie. Bye.
Bye, Tara.